So Right as Rain was written by Trent Harmon, Jimmy Thau, and Alan Poetker. And, it's a song that when I heard it for the first time, um, I thought one day I want that to be real. Um, and if anything has proven to be true, is that thoughts really do become things. So, I threw that song. I put that song on the album because I wanted to sing it into existence. I would love to get married one day and have all that stuff. And Right as Rain is my message to the universe that that's something that I'd like to see in the future.
And Fool's Gold, so last song on the album, you had the good job, you were making the money, you had the nice condo, and that didn't bring happiness. So when did you realize that happiness is in being present, in um, enjoying the little things, and being grateful, and surrounding yourself with good people? When did you realize that the money isn't everything?
I didn't really truly realize that on, I'd say 2018, in the summer of 2018. At this point, I had built the band and we started doing a couple of shows, and I started to see what music was bringing back into my life and how felt so differently about it. And also, I was working less and less in HVAC. And then eventually, I think once I left HVAC, once I said, goodbye to the guaranteed income, that, as we say, the burning the boats, that's when it changes your motivation and you start realizing like, okay, well, I don't have a job now. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to survive. Um, and I think when I started to see what music was really doing for me and all these new people that were coming into my life and new friends that I was making, and that's when you start to see like you made the right call, you made the right choice. And even all those contests that I lost, it's like I was never upset about it. I just really liked being there. It was just fun. And it's crazy because Demetrius Nath is someone that we both know, and I remember Demetrius and I going to the Second Cup by Square One to talk about going to radio for the first time. And we talked about how he came out and he was a judge in these singing contests and stuff. And he's given me the the 1-2 punch on how radio works. And him and I have shared some success stories, and it's just wild, man. It's it's wild. You gotta really be focused. And yeah.
What do you think are the biggest differences between the new album, Drove Me Country, and your 2018 album, Thoughts Become Things? What do you think are the biggest difference, whether it's in the songs or the sound or the growth, or what do you think?
I think Thoughts Become Things was a reflection of what I thought I needed to do, in terms of sound. I didn't know my sound. I didn't know my sound then. I was finding it. um and the new album is a perfect reflection of where I've landed, and what's currently going on in my life. And Fool's Gold, for example, is a perfect description of where I am currently and how I feel about stuff. um you know uh Family, friends, music, good times. you know um that's what's most important. Everything else is fool's gold. I feel like when you chase that dragon, or you let your ego get a hold of you, you're going to sink real quick. But when you realize that it's really about your personal growth as a person, and music for me is just my healer. um, and whether I get a headlining tour or I don't, um, doesn't it, it's not that's not what's important. What's important is that people are finding some peace, some serenity, some happiness, some joy, some answers within the music that I'm creating. And everything else is just fool's gold.
So before this last question, you were talking about having done all those competitions and never winning them until the Boots and Hearts. Um, I think I think you need all of those other competitions as experience to win, to go on to win Boots and Hearts. I think if Boots and Hearts is the first thing that you do, that you don't have the result that you want. You know what I mean? That's why it's so important. We think of, you know, finishing second or third or whatever in these competitions as failure because you didn't win. But I think that's kind of you developing your craft and learning the control of your voice and learning how to interact with the audience and banter between songs. So I feel like all of that stuff where, oh, I didn't win, you know, maybe I shouldn't have even done those. That's actually a part of the journey and the growth. And that led you to the actual opportunity that changed everything, and you being ready to, you know, having everything in place to win the one that matters. And I've seen it described that way when it comes to dating as well. So we think of all the like horrible dates we've been on, or, you know, the relationships that didn't go well. And if from day one, so let's say in 3 weeks, you meet like the actual one woman for you that you want to marry. If you have never gone on dates, you've never been in relationships, there's no way you're going to get that one person that you want, because you don't know how to interact on dates and you don't know how to be a better partner. You know, the first relationship, you didn't pay any attention to her, and you learned from that and you paid more attention to the second one. And the second one, you never opened the doors and bought flowers and you know, the gifts of whatever. And I feel like that's the same way with the competitions to being ready for the one opportunity, and the same thing with dating and being ready for the right person. You've, over time, through those struggles and those experiences, you've become the person that's capable of attracting and of kind of being worthy of the partner that you're looking for. Does that make any sense? Maybe I just went off.
No. It makes a whole lot of sense. But I also believe, because I've had this conversation with someone that, you know, I know people that, you know, met one person and, you know, have only been with one person their entire life. And I've said to them, how do you know that this is the right person for you? Like, shit. I mean, at least, you know, you got to try something else, you know? And they're like, no, I don't need to. I'm so happy with what I have. And I mean, hey, that does exist too. But you're right. You know, for me, it built a callus, and I just expected going into it, you know, like, expect nothing. Don't. And it's hard because you're excited. You know, I've been in contests where there was $5,000, $10,000 prize, cash prizes. I mean, I need that money.
You know, give me the money.
You know, I could use that for, you know, all kinds of shit. But you know, so it's hard. You know, anyone that is in a contest or a competition or whatever and says they don't care if they win, they're full of shit. We all want to win. That's just natural. But you gotta, I think what changes the head, the mind game that we deal with is, why do you want to win? That's the difference. You know, for me, it's, I guess, I love to perform. You know, I went into the karaoke contest thinking, I just want to make the finals. I don't care if I win. I just want to make the finals, because I knew the finals was always going to be a packed bar and I'll get to sing some cool shit and it'll be fun. You know, same with Boots and Hearts. I was like, oh, I hope I make the top two. Like, that was my goal. You know, I wanted to play the main stage at Boots and Hearts, you know, and winning it was just crazy. I couldn't believe it. But yeah, I feel you're right. Those open mics and all those years of doing those contests and stuff, it's a lot easier when you've been in a high pressure situation before, because I've seen artists in these contests do great in other venues, and all of a sudden they get up on the big stage and they've never had that much pressure, and they fold, because it's a lot to ask of a human being to go stand in front of your dream and kick it straight in the nuts. I mean, that's a lot to ask somebody to do. I mean, think about it. UFC is such a great example for so many different reasons, is because when you watch these people fight, and I don't know about you, but if someone punched me in the face, the amount of adrenaline that would run through my body, I don't know what I would do. I would just go savage, but like, these fighters are getting, they're in a ring with a professionally trained martial artist, assassin, human assassinator, and they're getting punched and elbowed and kicked and pulled on and twisted and turned, and they stay calm, and they don't allow the adrenaline to focus on not having the guy's knee in their throat. I mean, that is an incredible ability, that you can control your emotions that much. Same with, think of baseball players. They're throwing the pitch, bottom of the ninth, bases are loaded, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and there's 50,000 people watching you throw this ball. Don't screw up, because if you do, you're going to be on the front page of every newspaper tomorrow, and you're going to be the biggest asshole in the city. And they close their eyes and they take a breath. If you watch them, same with basketball, they always take a breath before they throw the ball, if on the free throw line, and they block that shit out. And I told someone recently, I said, if I was a basketball player, when you do the free throws, how they have people behind the nets with those things, and they clap them to try and distract them. I would hire 100 of my closest friends to come over and just make as much noise as possible for a solid hour once a week, so I could practice throwing a ball with that distraction. That's where my head is at with that kind of stuff. And what people don't know is that I drove out to some of these festivals before the stages were even built, and I went to the field and I imagined what this festival was going to be like, and I imagined the chaos, and I saw it in my mind so I could prepare for it when I actually came to see it in reality, so it wasn't such a shock. And it's no difference, like Cool Runnings, that bathtub scene where Darius Bannock is in the bathtub with the guys, and they're practicing their turns in a bathtub. People do that in real life because they want to visualize. I've seen hockey players sit in the stands and visualize the hockey game before it even happens. It's incredible, man, what we can do with our minds and prepare for stuff like that. So it definitely played a part for sure. They were some incredible memories.